Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this week's episode of the Marketing Happy Hour. Oh, there's somebody who came in. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Christopher Vogelmann of drvogelmann.com, which, by the way, is down right now because I'm doing a complete revamp of my website. But you can find us at Maximize Your Media, which is our digital agency here in Coronado, California, as well as the joint venture that our next gentleman has with me, which is Epic Win Agency. Oh, John is on the phone, apparently indulging in customer service today. Anyway, so John Paduchak, interestingly enough,
for a second.
You can say hello while you're dealing with customer service.
I can break loose while Russell is listening to me here from T-Mobile, so it's cool.
How good is that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about
today?
An example of great customer service.
Great customer service.
Yeah. So anyway, so my name's John Paduchak, and I'm a video marketing expert in Boston. And as Dr. V said, I work with him on Epic Win Agency. So
indeed. And down below,
under that guy
who just popped in.
Speaking of good customer service, I guess that applies to your friends and co-hosts as well. Because I was sitting on a StreamYard link from I guess before for 10 minutes by myself. Then I realized, there is a new link. So I'm glad that I'm here now.
It's a good thing you weren't in last week's broadcast. It's a little stale. That's all
I thought that's the link. Anyway, hello everyone. I'm Coach K or Big K or Special K. You can call me whatever you want. I help entrepreneurs get things done and implement. I'm an implementation coach, and the website is simplify.zone.
Because you're never alone with simplify.zone. Is that right?
So we're talking about customer service today, right?
Yes, customer service. My customer service? Oh, no. Wait, customer service.
Yes.
Is that it?
Isn't it?
It's not showing up. It's sad when these things don't work.
Maybe we should call customer service.
I should call customer service, but in this case, I am customer service. Oh, I see what it is. That's what happened. There we go. Customer service.
There you go.
So we're going to talk about bad customer service and how it can adversely affect your brand. So John admonished me not to create any slides, but the Boy Scout in me, which says always be prepared, and not knowing which customer service person he would be talking to today, said make a couple of slides because you never know when they might come in handy.
It never hurts.
It never hurts. It never hurts. So I'm going to head over here to the actual, we're producing this. Actually, it's coming in from Canvas. I'm not going to be able to see you, but hopefully you can see this. How does it hurt? Where does it hurt? And how can the doctor fix it? So we talk about how bad news spreads fast.
Yes.
John, are you off customer service? Or are you still on there?
No, I'm still on, but that's okay. I can still talk.
Because this is the thing that intrigued me the most, and this is what stimulated this week's topic, and it's because bad customer service is talked about 3 times more than good customer service. I love these little things that I found within Canva, which is the happy shoppers versus the frustrated shoppers who say that the service.
And you have 3 times more of those.
Exactly.
Yes.
It was hard to squeeze all those frustrated women in there, by the way. I could have used guys too, by the way, but anyway. So,
no, that's actually a good representation. But if it was up to me, I would guess it's a lot more than 3 times. I would say 7 or 8 times.
Maybe.
I'm sure you got your data from somewhere.
Yeah,
that's my best guess.
This is from a couple of different sites. Well, but actually what you're saying probably works out pretty well with respect to some other things, and you'll see those in a minute. But your leads are most likely going to stop converting if you've got bad customer service, because word indeed gets around. And so, of course, if you're advertising for leads, I mean, you can imagine that your ads aren't going to be doing that well, because people will be saying, oh, that's the ad from the guy who screwed over so-and-so.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, I did put these in orange for you, Kayvon, because I had you in mind.
Didn't go unnoticed.
And of course, if you've got the leads dropping, then your lifetime customer value will be dropping too. So don't you, Kayvon, you have people who come back to you for coaching, don't you? Or they
Yes.
continuing relationship. Yeah.
Yes, and you know what? It doesn't matter how often it happens or it doesn't happen. Every time it happens is very surprising because many times we are oblivious to the things that we are doing right, which leads the opposite of that coin is we're also oblivious to the things that we are not doing right or doing
Exactly.
wrong, which creates bad customer service. Because I don't think anybody gets up in the morning and said, okay, let's go screw things up.
Let's go screw some customers.
Yeah, let's go harm people. I'm sure there are people over there that they do that, but if a company has customer service, they actually want to service. But looking at it from their own point of view, many times they get things wrong, and sometimes you deal with companies that they just don't listen.
Well, and that's what we're looking at here too. I mean, so we used to call them LPV, which is lifetime patient value, is what we were talking about in the world. And the other thing is that, gosh, I started mumbling towards the end there. One of the things that can happen with bad customer service is you get this bad reputation even within your own company, and your best employees can disappear; they can leave.
Yes.
And a lot of this really has to do with the training too. So by and large, most of us who have small coaching organizations, we tend to handle our own customer service. But I will say that there's a certain trend within online entrepreneurs to outsource your customer service. And doesn't that sound a little dangerous to you?
Yeah, it's dangerous, and more than that, it's hollow to me. I don't know how it can be done. Right. And many times people manage to make it complicated. I remember many years ago, I was reading a book by Larry Winget.
Was it Wingnut? No, Wing It.
No,
Wing It.
no,
Not
Wing It, I
Wingnut.
think. Yeah. So he's a no BS kind of a guy, straight to the point. And I love his advice. So he said, first of all, there is no such thing in his opinion, but I don't agree with that part. He was saying there is no such thing as a separate department called customer service. Everybody should be in customer service business.
I actually agree with Larry on this one, only because just when we think about branding and how you project your brand, it's not just the beautiful orange colors that you may be using or the logo itself, but it's the way somebody answers the phone in the first place.
I agree with that too. And so everybody is in customer service. At the same time, when we want things to get done, somebody should own that task or project. So therefore, we need people with that title or that department of customer service. So at least to look at things, how the phone is being answered. But anyway, he really simplified it. He said, on a customer service call, there are three main things that they have to happen. And if only these three things happen, so much of your job is done. First one, ask people, it's only three questions. Ask them, what happened? And many times people just call customer service just to
vent,
just have somebody to listen to them. If you do a good job in listening, a good portion of that is done. So what happened? Second question, what should have happened? Like, what was your expectation? And you find the contrast. Maybe there was a misunderstanding here or service. But the third question, well, how can I, make this better for you? Sometimes it's fixing it, but sometimes it's something that I expected, but you don't really do. But you still can do something make it better. So, what happened? What should have happened? How can I make this better?
Well, and sometimes it's just issuing a refund rather than having continued customer service.
Yeah, that's making it better, right? They tell you what is it that they want, and he said, many times we get to that third question and people say nothing. I just wanted to mention that, and you say nothing you need to do or very little. So, but the fact that you are proactive in how can I make this better, I think that's a great formula for good customer service.
Yeah, you can improve that in the future. And customer service is a great place actually to get feedback on how your offer is actually working. The other thing that can happen with people when they have bad customer service with respect to your brand and your company is that you start going into this downward cycle of profit sucking, which is you may have to combat the bad customer service, the bad reputation that you had with reputation management programs. You may need more advertising dollars out there. And the problem is, bad news can spread like wildfire. And that's our summary there.
I wanted to say something about that reputation management.
Yeah.
So it happens, and it exists. Well, first of all, about that profit sucking thing.
Yeah.
It's the entrepreneurs or the managers' issue that the profit is getting lost. Because guess what? Every one of those single customer service calls is another piece of data with a problem, and we all know problems are opportunities in disguise. So finding ways to make the business better or have new products, new services, it's a hidden treasure in those calls that it needs to be mined out. That's one thing. And as far as reputation management, so many people before going to our website, they Google our website.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. For two reasons. One is they know they're Googling it, and they think by Googling it, they get a bigger picture. Not only the web page, but also maybe the blog page and other people, what they say, and the reputation and all of that. And another reason is people, they think Google is internet, so they do it navigationally. So instead of typing it out in the top in the browser, they type it in the Google search box, the domain name to go to a website. So they end up Googling it.
I thought Facebook was the internet.
In China. No, not in China. Where is it? Somewhere in Asia. That's
somewhere. It is the internet. Yeah. So let me go back over here. We're talking about this. I'm going to make sure I get to this one. Yeah. So the thing about it is I loved finding these little emojis and stuff that 89% of people are not likely to do business with you or, according to your practice, if you're in the healthcare professions, if they feel that they're disrespected by the organization or maybe a staff member, any sort of a representative of the organization, or for that matter, in healthcare, I've seen this happen before. If they feel disrespected by the doctor, they won't come back, and they'll never tell you why either. That's what's interesting.
I remember my own experiences with that.
Yeah.
There was this many years ago, must have been over 15 years ago. I went to a store that it was specialized in car audio system and that sort of thing. And there was the salesperson, answering my question, helping me and all of that. And the business owner was so eager with everything, he would jump in and out of conversations. So basically, he just interrupted our conversation and interrupted his own employee with an attitude of, like, this guy's an idiot, talk to me. And I just didn't like the way that he, first of all, interrupted us, then disrespected the other person and said, okay, thank you. And I just walked out.
Well, I think you think about the customer service and the how they're the face of the company when there is a problem. If that person is not sufficiently trained, it can reflect badly on everyone. In fact, even if you have a great product, lots of benefits and features and all, if you see that kind of an interaction that you just described, it sours you for the entire organization. I mean, if the case, let's say it was a car dealership, and if you really wanted that particular brand of car, you probably would wind up ejecting yourself and heading to a different dealership.
I actually did that. I went to a car dealership, a certain brand, and the person was reading a newspaper. And I guess because I was wearing shorts or, short sleeves, he didn't think he's a buyer. So I went there and he was like, oh, you're interrupting me. I'm reading a newspaper. Can't you see? You're not a buyer. Just get out of my face, kind of a thing. So after the second question, I left. Guess what? I bought that car from another dealership a week after that.
It does. Stuff like that happens all the time. So this I had found, and I can't even remember where I found it, but this was a long time ago. It's called the 3R rule, which is, this is the cure. So we already know what the problem is, what the malady is. And here in general, this is the simplified version of the cure, which is number one, responsibility. So you have to accept responsibility and make a resolution to fix the mistake as fast as you can. Okay, don't want to argue with the customer or the patient, for example, and try to prove them wrong. Because if you're going to prove yourself right at the expense of the customer or the patient or the client, that's going to continue to escalate the experience of bad customer service.
And it doesn't have to be taking responsibility for the issue or the problem. It could be taking responsibility for understanding what the client is saying.
I'm here to help you. Yes. And it goes along with, the resolution, which is your promise is either to fix the problem then or to get back to them. So follow-up is always an incredibly important thing. And then the final R is respect, which is what you just mentioned, that you show empathy and understanding, and the good people will do that. I'm sorry this happened to you. I feel, I'm very concerned for what you're going through. I know that even I've heard people say, I know that's terrible. It really sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. And then so having that level of empathy can then help to bridge the gap between the frustrated customer and the successful resolution.
Yeah.
So, and then, we talked about this earlier, that feedback from your customers is incredibly good. Just as we talked about earlier, well, you do this in your coaching too, which is you either have success or you learning. So either you're succeeding in something or you're getting feedback for what didn't work in a particular situation.
Yeah. And the quicker and the more direct the feedback, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I even put a little thing here, but this I thought was going to take a lot longer because John. Yeah, I just put John as johnpaduchak.com, Dr. K at simplify.zone, and me, since the website is down, at Dr. Vogelmann all over social media. So let's check in with John Paduchak and see how he is doing here in the
lips
land
are moving. I guess he's
customer
talking to someone.
Are you talking?
Yes.
Are you talking to us, John? Are you talking to somebody else? No, he's muted himself. Okay, so it's the Dr. V and Dr. K show here.
I unmuted myself.
Oh, you did unmute yourself.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, I'm fine. Sorry about that.
Let's
you
talk
must
a
have
little bit.
Unmuted me. I must have remuted me. So I got caught on customer service that I couldn't let go.
Hey, but this is what interesting. So this all started this week because John was switching phones from AT&T to T-Mobile.
And I had terrible customer service, and now I feel like I got great customer service. It's quite a shocking thing, and I think I picked up a couple real big lessons from this, and the real big lessons are, especially somebody who's been like I had been with AT&T for like 26 years, which is like
a long
almost
time.
Unheard of for a
many marriages don't last that. Many marriages don't last.
Well, I'm celebrating my 27th wedding anniversary this weekend, so I've been with them almost as long as I've been married.
I'm sure there is a terrible joke there somewhere, but
probably
let's refrain from that.
So
who gets custody of the phone?
So I think we won't go into that. So I think the thing that's big here that I really discovered in going through this whole process is I think it's important, like loyalty, people who have been really loyal to your brand for a long period of time. I mean, I think they deserve special attention almost to a certain extent. I think it's great if you've got somebody new that you're servicing, that you treat them well. But if you've got somebody that's not satisfied with something you did and they're walking out the door on you, you shouldn't treat them badly just because they decided not to do business with you. Because someday they may change their mind. Yeah. And so this was a real big thought provoker in watching how all of this kind of played out. And sometimes you have an event like that in your life that is exactly that way. You just kind of sit back and go, isn't that interesting how this all kind of came together? And then we were chatting with another one about the medical health insurance thing, which of course in the US is like another travesty I could go on for days about, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I don't have to deal with that or car insurance.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't have to deal with car insurance because you don't drive?
No, we have one company.
Oh, you just have one company.
One company that I think it's a subsidized government kind of a thing.
Really?
I'm guessing there are other smaller providers for additional that, but all you need is that just one company. It's called ICBC, and you just get your ICBC insurance and then it's there.
Wow.
There is no shopping around for insurance.
You learn something new every day.
You know, when I
Good, I
lived
think.
when I lived in Washington and was around Capitol Hill, I used to say ICDC,
Hmm.
ICDC. This is
the
ICDC.
District of Columbia, Washington D.C. All
Yes.
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
so tell us about the AT&T thing, because this is
Oh,
what
geez.
this is. You were not the happy shopper.
No, not at all. In fact, it was funny. I was on a business call the other day and I got cut off like 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
And that's when I just said, I've just had enough of this. And people were supposed to call me. I was supposed to get a call from an engineer. They could never get things to work. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the last time I had that much fun was with Comcast, yet another company with awful customer service. But we'll probably be banned for talking about all these companies.
I don't think it's. I mean, we're not talking about Facebook having bad customer service.
Not today.
It's funny.
No.
I had similar experience
It
with my
didn't
phone
happen.
company too. So the phone company that I have been here with for
Yeah.
18 years or so. So similar to your situation. It's called Rogers, but it used to be Rogers AT&T. So this is actually, the Canadian version of that.
yeah.
So it used to be Cantel AT&T, then it became Rogers AT&T, then just Rogers. So similar stuff, like I am feeling lonely here. Nobody answers my call. Good deals come up, not even a notification. And when I called, come on, I've been a client for that many years. There should be some sort of at least acknowledging that. My internet company does that. I have been with them for many years, and they look at my customer number. They see it's a 4-digit number because it's a local company, and they say, "Oh, this is one of the OGs." So they just mentioned that. So I had enough of no service or apathy. So and I switched my phone company 2 years ago to Bell, and I've been happy with that. So I'm with
Good.
Bell now.
Yeah,
Bell.
I think it's interesting. So you said something that they don't really do here in a lot of places, and that is that if you've been with somebody for a long time, there seems to be like no loyalty. It's almost like you have to leave them and switch to somebody else for them to get to pay attention to you again. And it kind of falls against the rules of business, which say that it's a lot easier to satisfy an existing customer and keep them than it is to go find a new customer, which costs you more money. And so I think anybody who has a small business, local, business wants to keep that in mind. It's a lot more expensive for you to pursue and pick up a new customer than to take good care of an old one.
It doesn't take much. They could just send an SMS to every customer who has been with us for 15 years with a barcode. Here's a coffee on us. Take this to a Starbucks and beep.
Yeah. I am so amazed at the difference between the experience that I had and the experience that I have now. Everybody I talk to is like awesome. They're all like super happy and friendly. And it's almost crazy, the difference. I mean, it's like such a night and day difference between.
Well, that's a product of training. That's a product of
it is a product
training
of training
people really well.
You know what it's a product of? It's a product of great
culture.
Culture. Thank you. That was the word I was trying to pull in my brain, and I just couldn't. Thank goodness you're reading my mind.
Caring culture.
I had yogurt, so I have full of culture.
Yeah, and so that brings up another thing. My past business partner and I, he still does some odds and ends things with me from time to time, and he was a mentor to me in finance. And he was here the other day, and we're talking, and he said, "You know what most businesses lack? They lack good business culture." And there's really no sense of culture among a lot of businesses now. And I think that's something that a lot of companies really need. Doesn't matter whether they're big or small or whatever they might be. But it's definitely a missing piece. So it's important to really have good culture.
And one of the axioms of a good culture still is the customer is always right.
Yeah.
Even if he or she is wrong.
Of course.
Because your job as a customer service person is not to make yourself right.
No.
And that's one of the big things that I've seen that happen more than once, or heard that over the phone with people saying, well, that's just not the way this works. This is what this is that. And it was, and many times also, if there are some shenanigans going on, like
Mm.
little hidden clauses in contracts and things that you really haven't noticed, or there's a 14-day trial or whatever it is, and then we're going to charge your credit card, and they don't even say that they're going to charge your card. There's a big difference a lot of times when you're putting offers out there. Some offers, which I actually appreciated with Canva, they actually you put your information in there. They didn't ask for a credit card at the beginning because after
Right.
you had your trial, it just expired and you couldn't get in.
Right.
I appreciate that far more
I do
than somebody who has an automatic payment. So
I did too. I told you another one that I encountered this week, which was the group who said to one client that, we aren't right for you. We're not a
Yeah.
good fit. But I think this person is. And then maybe if you go or this company is, and if you go and you get working with them, come back to us because we may be a good fit for you later on. But right now we're not a good fit.
I had
And that's great.
I had that very same experience last night, which was I was on a webinar with Adrian Morrison, who does a lot of the Profit Power Hour. And he's big on, for those of us who do e-commerce, which we have our own e-commerce business here at the house.
Right.
And one of the things that he said, indeed, they get on a call with some of them for their coaching or their mentoring or their done for you programs or done with you programs. And he says, look, if we feel that you're not a good fit, we're not going to take you. Like if our program is $3,000, and if you're telling me that you have $3,001 in your bank account, we're not going to take you because you're going to need additional resources to be able to put together a real business. Yeah.
Right.
But we'll tell you where you can go to get help. And I just mentioned in the chat, I said, gosh, that's a mark of an incredibly ethical business, because
It is.
if you refer people, and this happened to me in practice, I referred people out to a neurologist or cardiologist or something else. I got sometimes more accolades for sending the person to someone than I did sometimes if I was actually helping them one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And that news can spread like wildfire in terms of customer service. So,
yeah, they really appreciate that because they see you had the best outcome for them in mind.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to keep all the cash I could.
Yeah. Not transactional thinking, right?
It was not a transactional relationship. Hey, speaking of relationships and transactions and things, this was actually going to be short because I scheduled our clubhouse, which is going to be the continued conversation for 3:30. It's funny. I anticipated somehow that there would be problems today. And so
there were.
there were.
I'm sorry. And it was my fault.
It's the law of attraction.
I know, and it's weird because it was one of those things that you just can't do anything about when
you could just hang up.
They call, but then I'd be more messed up for weeks. So it just doesn't pay in this situation.
A feature that I really like with customer service calls, that it's a long hold and that sort of thing. And I don't always get it, but when I get it, I really appreciate it. It's the feature that this is going to be a long time. If you leave us your phone number, we'll call you back.
Right. If it works. If it works. Because I've had times when I yell, they're going to call me back, and 2 hours later, wait, they said I was 14 minutes away. Why is it 2 hours now?
Yeah, I've had really good luck with that, though. A number of different places I do business with have that feature, and it just makes things run so smoothly.
Yeah.
Because
I had that experience with our version of IRS here. It's called CRA. And it's a funny thing. Sometimes that feature is available, sometimes it's not. So I don't know why it's not available all the time. But when it's available and I leave my number, they have been very good in calling back and being prompt and that sort of thing. I was on and they were very helpful as far as customer service, because this is what happened. This is the reason that I needed to call them. So it was late at night and I was tired and sleepy. So this tells you not to do banking transactions when you're tired and sleepy. So on my mobile phone, dark room, I can't see really well. I just wanted to transfer some money to my personal account. So I went ahead and chose the recipient, my name, but I was sending it to my tax account under my name. So I just basically transferred that money to CRA. So they got the money right away, and I had to get on a phone call and finally find someone to tell them to reverse the transaction and give me the back the money, which they did. all of that was really well. So that was the reason what I was on the call. But they were getting so many calls because of COVID situation. So this whole we will call you back at a certain time works really well for me.
The other thing that I was going to say, I was talking to, like I said, this close friend of mine, and he started a lot of banks in our area. And we were talking about the fact that, there's an awful lot of banks that we go to that have just really poor customer service. They don't try to deliver the unexpected. They're just kind of stodgy in their ways and don't do anything. And gosh, this was a long time ago when he was actually developing and building banks, but he had stuff that a lot of banks don't even have today.
What's an example of that?
What was that?
What's an example of that?
Well, like for instance, he had an automated voice system before, way before anybody else. They had a mail chute that the post office was right next door. So if anybody had anything that needed to be mailed, just like when people shoot their deposits over, they had another chute that went to the post office, and they would shoot stuff back and forth to the post office so they could take care of people's mail.
Makes it easy, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. There were a lot of different things that they did. They would have client days where they would invite, their biggest clients to the office and to find out what they could do for them. And they had taken each employee as like a personal service person to all of these people coming in. And they were all like right after them, escorting them to wherever they needed to go, and the whole 9 yards. I mean, it was just very, very personalized, very very unique.
Yeah, good service. That's the reason that I'm with my bank. I have been with them since '98, and I'm not going anywhere. And this bank of mine is online and telephone only. There is no branch. There is no place for me to walk. There is another bank that they have under the same group, so I can use their machines and ATMs and that sort of thing. But think about it, everything being phone, automated, and online back in '98. It's easy to have online banking, but they were, as you said, like your person that you mentioned, ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And everything was easy. I could just log in, do my stuff, get out. So free checking account. And so there is no way that I changed to any other bank. Good customer service. They understood everything. They had all the services, prompt, on time, everything.
It's funny. I went to do business with a new bank because we were dealing with some stuff with my father's estate and all of this, and I had an estate account with them. And then we opened up an account of our own, and I said, I'd like to get some checks. So this was like a month ago. I still haven't gotten them. I don't think they ordered them. It's just all kinds of stuff like that. You just go, that's a small, tiny thing that you would expect to get right.
You know what? That reminds me. I'm waiting for some checks and card from another bank of mine, and that hasn't come through. You just reminded me.
You're welcome.
I'm calling them tomorrow. Where the hell is the card? Yes.
Yeah. So it's the little things that you just think, wow, it's a really mundane thing that should be simple.
Yeah.
But yet when somebody doesn't get that right, then you just go, wow, there's a serious issue here that I need to maybe think twice about. So yeah.
One thing we need to think twice about, as a matter of fact, is that the Clubhouse room has been live now for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We have to get out of here.
All right.
Okay.
Enough said.
See you guys over there.
We'll see you over there. So join us next week at 3:00 Pacific, 6 p.m. In the East Coast for another episode of the Marketing Happy Hour. We don't know what we're going to talk about, but we do know it's going to be interesting, engaging, and super duper valuable. So we'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye.
See you then. Bye for now.